It's Brock here with Rock Hill Farms, and this is not what I was planning to do today. I was wanting to finish the drain lines across the driveway, but it rained all night last night. It's been raining all morning. We've got maybe a 3 or 4 hour break from the rain, then it's going to start again. So there was no way I was getting much of any work done today, and I got a message from a friend asking me if I knew the 4 States Farm Show was today. Well, no. But I'd sure as heck like to go. I love farm shows. Every time I go, I find something I wasn't looking for. I don't know if that's really good or bad, but that's where I found the Megmo blades. Very cool design. You know, I don't end up running them right now, but it's also where I found the Quonset hut. I was struggling with how I was going to afford a pole barn. Came across the Quonset hut, and I think that ended up being a good decision for me. And you just never know what you're going to see. And worst case scenario, I get to look at tractors all day. So I'm almost to the show, and we're going to walk around, see what we can find. Should be a lot of fun. When you come to these farm shows, every tractor manufacturer and equipment manufacturer has booths set up. And I don't try to cover everything I see. I just grab 3 or 4 things that are interesting and see if someone wants to educate me a little bit about it. On this particular show, one of the first things I came across is this brand called Loftness. It was founded by someone with that last name, and all their products are American made, and it is now an employee-owned company, which I find very interesting. And they happen to make Mulchers, which is something I am in the market for. So that's where I started.
Very well.
So I'm over here looking at, this is a Loftness brand, VM Logic. They have drum mulchers and they have the disc mulchers. Now in my mind, being a little bit ignorant on the application of them, I think of this as being more suitable for my 325, and that this needing a higher capacity, but you were kind of telling me it's the opposite?
It's a little bit opposite of that. This disc mulcher, it's a beast of a machine for the applications that it fits in, which it's an incredibly fast slash and go machine. Where we see the market for that is people that are doing big acres, like, and they're in a hurry. We have a good market for these, especially in areas like Nebraska, where we have people battling invasive cedars, and they're looking at speed as being their top priority on covering acres. So, great machine, fully machine Quadco disc, so we have no welds on that, 5-piston radial motor. But bad news is, it's a little bit big for the 325 John Deere. This needs a full-size 10 to 12,000 pound machine to feel comfortable with that much weight out front, but it's a beast of a machine. When we get over to our battle axe, we have full-size ones, and this has been super popular, our L series or lighter series. Compared to its 61-inch big brother, we've shed 1,100 pounds. It's a downsized version. The 61-inch cut width on this, like the 61-inch on its on the full-size or standard version, we go from 2,500 pounds to 1,400 pounds. So it starts becoming a very comfortable fit on the smaller skid steers and track loaders. Like your machines under 9,500 pounds is what we target. Also, lower flow rates. We can run comfortably from 15 gallons to 35.9 gallons per minute. And with the appropriate pulley ratios, that's how we get the right rotor speed to match your machine. So more is better. You got more juice, we'll take advantage of that and turn that into higher torque and reduced recovery time. So that's what we do when you have more than the minimum.
So whenever I got mine, I was thinking long term I was going to want to get a mulcher, and I went back into Deere while I was waiting on it after I ordered and said, what mulcher would you guys recommend for this 325G with the high flow and the severe duty door? They said they don't make one that will run on that. They only have them for the 333. I said somebody out there makes them that will run on mine. You know, it's not a small machine, but these look like a high quality unit.
Well, it's interesting you brought up the 325, because we do make this lighter series, and there's a couple of our competitors that do as well. The first demo I went on this with this machine was up in Nebraska, and the dealer happened to be an ASV dealer, so he was used to the power and the brutality of the ASV RT120. running a full-size head. Well, we took our demo machine and ran on a 325 that had the high flow, 27 gallons a minute, and my dealer friend up there was not expecting a lot, but emphasized over and over again how impressed he was. So it's not just a matter of putting things together and hope it works. If it's a matched pairing, like your machine, this machine, pulleyed for the 27 gallons a minute, it's really a formidable
So
pairing.
I know there's some variation based on type of tree and stuff, but just in general, what size material will this shred?
Well, it will, any of our machines will shred. Oftentimes people ask about how big a tree will it cut, and we rate them all for certain tree diameters. The real answer is they will all cut trees much larger than we recommend or that you should. In this case, 6-8 inch trees, you know, the bigger the tree, the more time you have to take. When we step down in size, the faster you can go. Whether it's your machine or somebody else's, it's a wood cutting tool. It's only going to cut as fast as the power it has available. Just like if you're running a table saw, you can only push so fast till you run out of power. Pushing harder isn't going to help you.
Now, if someone's watching this right now and they want to buy a Loftness, do you guys order these through dealerships, or?
We are dealer only, so you will not find any of our equipment as an add to cart item. We strive to have a network of supporting dealers that are there after you make your purchase. In this case, we're being hosted by State Equipment out of Kansas City with another location in Springfield, Missouri. So that's our they're our hosts here for this, and so supporting dealers like them and other ones across the country are who we depend on.
All right. I think it's a great looking product. Hey, thanks for taking the time to show it to me. After I got done looking at those, we went over and checked out the similar version that can mount on an excavator. And you need at least a 5-ton excavator to run one of these, but it's pretty impressive to have that mulching power out on the end of a boom. We were just talking to that salesman, or he's actually a rep for the manufacturing side, about how to go about getting one of these attachments. And what he told me is the same thing I've been hearing from implement manufacturers all over the country, is that you can purchase any of this through your local dealership, and people don't realize the options they have and get steered towards the Deere brand or the Kubota brand or whatever dealership you're at. But you really have a lot more options for the equipment you can get direct from your dealer. Huh?
Can I help you with anything?
No, I'm going to bother this guy in a minute.
Ah, there he is, Rocky.
So I just bumped into Chris from Wingfield American Harrow. If you haven't seen it, I've got a couple videos using a 3-point harrow. Very well built, versatile tool. I've been really happy with it. And we've been talking back and forth after meeting at another farm show, and we've got a discount code on agfolks.com where you can get 5% off if you want to order a harrow. So I'll put that in the description. But I didn't know that they made a product like this. You want to tell me what we've got here?
Yeah, this is what we call our Pasture Field Renovator right here. It's a subsoiling system. You can also use it for vertical tillage. We can go a 6-foot, 8-foot, and 11-foot. And we have coulters in the front that cut in front of the knife, so you're not going to be pulling up any material like grass or anything as you're going through. And we can subsoil and heave from the bottom up anywhere from 2 inches to about 10 inches deep. The nice thing about this unit is you can use it in your pastures to decompact, soak up moisture, and you're not going to have to replant the surface. So you're just heaving from underneath. We like people to cut across their hillsides, so when it does rain, it slowly catches it and slows it down, soaks it up so it's not flowing right to the bottom and compacting your lower areas.
Dealing with excess water is always a problem if you own any acreage. So.
And we can also mount our harrow right to the back of this unit too. So what it does, we call it a mole knife that's on the back. It's an anhydrous knife. We can put tubes or no tubes if you wanted to put some liquid or fertilizer down or something. But what it does, it creates a little mole mound. So by heaving up, so we can use the harrow to just kind of knock that mound back up. It's ready to seed into or whatever you'd like.
So does this only come in one size?
No, it comes in a 6 foot, 8 foot, or 11 foot size, anywhere from a 4 shank, 5 shank, or 7 shank. And then we can add 1 foot extension on either side, so we can add one more shank on either side to make it a little bigger.
So what do you think is a minimum tractor size? Maybe?
What we like to say on this one, depending if you have 2-wheel assist or a 4-wheel drive, we like to say it's anywhere from 10 to 15 horsepower per shank to pull this unit.
All right, so if you're interested in a harrow or a unit like this, go to agfolks.com. On this one, you actually have to contact Wingfield.
Yeah, AmericanHarrow.com is where you can find this unit or all our harrows, but online we do sell through AgFolks.
Family owned, American made. I appreciate your time.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Brock.
When I was at this same show last year, I spent a lot of my time talking to the salesman at the Bobcat booth, and then I went over and talked to them in person at the local dealership, and I was really, really close to buying a Bobcat skid loader. And I also really like the tractors too, because they're very similar to a Coyote tractor. I think they're actually identical to the Coyotes, and I've heard good things about those. What's up, Brock? Hey, how are you? When a friend said hi there, I instinctively shut the camera off, but I really should have left it on and done a little shout out with that guy who is the owner of a local landscaping and excavating business and has a YouTube channel called The Thrifty Garage. So you'll see some upcoming videos of me doing some projects with Carson from that channel. Most of my equipment is John Deere. So people seem to have an expectation that I'm going to be anti-Kubota or anti-other brands, and that's not the case. I'm not a fan of the treadle pedal from Kubota, but I'm sure that's something you would get used to. But really, I don't have enough experience with these other equipment manufacturers to have a positive or negative opinion on them. And I'd love to get some more seat time on some other brands of tractors and equipment. How are you? Hey, don't you have anything better to do than hang out at a farm show? I know I don't. At least the rain's let up. Yeah.
Everything going good for you?
Yeah. This is the Heritage Tractor booth, which is the local John Deere dealer. I've bought all my equipment from Heritage Tractor. Their service department has been fantastic. The parts department is fantastic. They get me anything I need for any of my equipment, usually first thing the next morning. And I pay a little bit of a premium if I need it that quick, but I couldn't be more impressed with the service I get from this dealership. And that's the biggest reason why I bought the Deere skid steer instead of Bobcat or Cat or JCB or any of these other brands. I don't have a reason to change my dealership. But everything they have set up here is the same stuff you can go look at your local dealership and find all the information on. So let's go see if we can find something that's new or interesting somewhere else at the show. One example of that would be the hydraulic opening close bay doors that you see on the left side of the screen in blue. And I didn't get a chance to talk to anyone from that company, but that's an interesting alternative to a typical garage door style. me, normally the inside part of these shows isn't as interesting as outside where the bigger equipment is. There's a lot of niche products or services or material offerings for traditional farming, which just isn't what I do. But I always walk the entire thing because it seems like I find at least one thing that's new or that I haven't seen before. Now, at the National Farm Machinery Show, I did a full interview with a salesman for Grasshopper and kind of talked about some of the features on their mowers, and not so much the traditional zero-turn style mowers that they make, but more the front deck style that the company's known for, because those have some versatility to install other attachments besides a mowing deck. But I stopped here and talked again because of this sign that says test drive, and I asked him how I get that test drive. And I believe I've got a demo set up where I'm going to drive one of these and show you guys those features again. All right, so I've stopped here. This caught my eye. This is a company that solves or has a solution for tightening up a loose fence, right?
Yes,
You want to show us how that works?
we have Jake's wire tighteners, and it's very simple product made out of round rod, and the advantage to using that is it will never kink your wire. So we actually have two different sizes. We have a 1/4 inch size and we have a 5/16. For your standard 12.5 gauge barbed wire, we use the 1/4 inch. We have a locking collar, and when I grab that, hold it up, and I look for my eyelet or teardrop on the part. And then we have a tool that is both heat treated and powder coated. And so I take the stubby end of the tool and I feed that in or bring it into the back side, and I have a slot there. Because my wire runs horizontal, I want to kick my handle horizontal to put it into the wire, and then I always have to turn it to the right or go clockwise, lock it, and I have the wire secured.
So if you've got a saggy fence that you've had for a long time and it's just not tight, just a few of these, every so often, let's tighten it back up. It's a lot easier than replacing.
Yes, and what's deceiving about this is that it really only takes about a turn or a turn and a half to take out a considerable amount of slack in a wire.
Because every time you turn it, you're pulling out quite a bit.
Yes, yes, it's one of those things where I tell people it will tighten your wire. Buy it, take it home, and see what you can or can't do with it. But I have many, many customers using these.
And this is called Jake's Wire Tighteners. Is that your website where people would order it? jakeswiretighteners.com.
Yes,
So check it out if you've got a saggy fence.
they work fine. Thank you.
Yep. This next product I want to show you is not like anything I was expecting to look at while I was here. And I stopped out of a kind of a curiosity of what it was. And then I thought you guys might get a kick out of seeing me basically get stuck in a giant paint shaker. So I decided to hop on one. And after having a conversation with the guy who was here representing them, turns out a lot of farmers have back pain. And that's why they bring this here, because it can help alleviate that. I didn't want to interrupt the guy as he was explaining the benefits, but he'd turned it up to high, and it was about more than I could take.
Hop up here.
Oh, you shut it. Okay.
I'll put you on this one. This is the so on the low speed, take your feet as wide as you can. On the low speed, you're going to feel this a lot in your core. You feel it right. You feel it in that.
Oh, yeah.
It's the best core workout there is. It's like doing sit-ups for 2 hours. So the high speed burns around 600 calories, average of 400 to 600, and there's your calorie burn right there. So depending on your weight, but also speed goes up pretty high. So it's 80% of your muscles are contracting at the same time. So imagine going into the gym. And there's
That's almost too much.
I know. Imagine going to the gym and you got a secret room. and you just walk in the room and stand on a machine, and you've done every body exercise in the gym at the same time. That's what this does. So the secret is 80% of your muscles are working at one time instead of doing them separately.
Because they're hanging on for dear life.
Yeah, right. NASA invented the motor on this one back in 1960. The Russians were working on it, but for weightlessness and zero gravity, it actually prevents muscle loss.
And that's going to help with back pain.
The back pain
I
is
can almost-
something that came out of the blue. Yeah, it opens up the spine. So it's a class 1 medical device that chiropractors use for spinal decompression therapy. So it opens up the spine in 3 minutes, and if it's just chronic back pain, it'll get rid of it.
So, if someone wanted to buy one of those, where would they go?
I'm the man. I'm the only one, you know.
VMAXFitness.com?
No, it is Vibra therapy, H&B connection.
This thing's pretty intense. Like,
Yeah.
I
So-
think you'd be worn out, but you might actually feel better.
You can
too.
look at on my website, hnbconnection.com. We're out of Florida, but we have warehouses in Texas, Las Vegas, so we ship all over the world. And we've been doing this for about 20 years.
All right.
This is my 3rd year here at the farm show.
And you probably just said it. Oh, there's the website.
Yep.
H&B Connection.
Yep.
This is something else I'd never seen before, which is basically a battery-powered sweeper that'll suck up about anything off of any surface.
If you want to buy one of these units, it's called a Haggis Sweeper. Call me. My name is Chris, 508-294-9002.
Well, I really enjoy coming to these shows and looking at tractors all day and some of the other interesting things that are on display. And I really appreciate you taking time to watch this video. I'll put links on the screen to a couple more of our videos, and I'll see you next time.